Without further ado, because we are running a little bit late, I might introduce you to our first presenters, Pam Anderson and Kirsty Runciman, who are my fellow NDCO colleagues, and they're going to be speaking with us about the TAFE Specialist Employment Partnerships, or TSEP. Please feel free to access the captioning on the Zoom ribbon below, or the link is in the box. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Caroline. I assume we're right to go. Welcome, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the TAFE Specialist Employment Partnerships TSEP information session. Once again, before I begin, I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of these lands we walk upon and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, including any who are present with us during this session. My name is Pam Anderson and I am the National Disability Coordination Officer for Western Victoria. We also have along with us today, as Caroline mentioned, Kirsty Runciman from Western Australia, who's a National NDCO Coordination Officer based in Subiaco. So thank you. Okay, moving on to the next slide. There we go, sorry about that. Just taking a pause for our interpreters. What is TSEP? So TSEP, our TAFE Specialist Employment Partnerships, is a specialist employment program. It's based on site at a TAFE campus and it addresses specific needs of graduating or graduate students with disability seeking employment. And it's available for students identified with a disability and or access support due to the impact of their disability. Moving next slide. Why TSEP? So according to the National Centre for Vocational Education Research, over 4.1 million students are enrolled in vocational training in Australia. This includes approximately 33,000 people with disability compared to 457 people without. Many people living with disability are in some form of study in order to achieve their employment goals, as we know. Unfortunately, at this time, employment success is considerably lower for graduates with disability. And that is a percentage of 52.6% with a disability compared to employment rates of 78.8% of people not living with a disability. And that leaves a gap of 26.2%. So with the TSEP program, we hope to improve and lessen that gap for people with disability. Next slide. And there's some other reasons as well. Many TAFE students living with disability are not supported with their job search until they have completed their studies. Evidence indicates there's a significant positive impact on achieving career goals if a person is seeking or taking steps before they finish their studies. Expert assistance to access the labour market is a key support that is currently lacking or missing. TSEP aims to provide this expert advice prior to and post-graduation to ensure students enter employment with their preferred industry sector and one which aligns along with their TAFE qualification. So that's what we're trying to achieve with the TSEP program. Next. Okay, how does it work? So TSEP brings a disability employment service into a TAFE environment. It allows students living with a disability to access a specialist disability recruitment consultant to help achieve their career goals. The consultant works closely with disability services, TAFE careers, jobs and skills, or skills and jobs, depending upon whether you're from Victoria or Western Australia. The consultant will target employers suitable to each individual student's qualification for employment when they complete their studies. So we get them in, close to the ending of their course, and that way they can start to prepare and plan. Next slide. So who's involved? Our partners for the TSEP program include TAFE, the NDCO Program Officer, and Disability Employment Services, or DES for short. TSEP is only successful if all partners are working closely together to market and promote the program to students with disability, including staff located within TAFE, whether that be skills and job centres, careers teams, disability access and equity services, TAFE teachers, and anyone else who may be working with students located at a campus. Another important factor to consider, and an important partner with TSEP, is the industry and business sector, those that are willing to employ a qualified student after graduating from their course. Next slide, TSEP process. So first off, the NDCO will liaise with their local TAFE. Once discussions have taken place and processes have been defined, there is a partnership or memorandum of understanding, or it could be agreement or a letter, and site establishment plan created, and to implement TSEP on campus. Expressions of interest may be sent out to all of the disability employment service providers in the region, and NDCO then meets with TAFE to consider all of the expressions of interest from each DES provider, and they may hold interviews with each to establish the most suited provider for the TSEP program. From here, a partnership group meeting with all partners will be held to finalise agreements and discuss implementation of the program. A TSEP consultant will be recruited via the DES provider, maybe one of their current staff, but it really needs to be someone who understands the VET sector and also, is familiar with what happens within a TAFE campus. Marketing and referral process will be sent through to students, and that will be from obviously the disability service located within a TAFE, skills and job centres or jobs and skills centres, the staff that may be involved in the program. And then the TSEP consultant commences at the TAFE campus. And usually within the agreement, there is an available space agreed upon for the TSEP consultant to be located on the campus. But also they may include meeting students off campus, or certainly or virtually, as we have been doing during COVID. So now from the next slide, I'd like to introduce Kirsty Runciman from Western Australia NDCO. So Kirsty, would you like to jump on board now? Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. So I'd now like to introduce Debbie Tay from South Metro TAFE in Western Australia, who will talk about the initial setup of the TSEP program.
We started discussions for the TSEP pilot in late 2019 after hearing about the USEP program with WA's NDCO Kirsty. She presented all the available detail and met with us on a number of occasions to discuss different design delivery concepts. So once we had an idea of what TAFE wanted the TSEP pilot to look like, Kirsty set about having discussions with DES providers that may be interested in being our TSEP partner, and at that time 2 DES providers submitted formal EOIs. We met with both the interested providers and ultimately decided on Bisling Employment Services to be our partner in TSEP. The EOI and provider choice process was really quite simple and easy for TAFE, as NDCO Kirsty was really great at setting everything up. We entered into a MOU with Bislink that gave clarity on roles of each party, the expectations of each partner, and the timeline. SMT have 12 campuses, but we decided to run the pilot out of one campus as a starting point. So our TSET pilot officially started in March this year, so March 2020, as a 12-month pilot, running out of the Jobs and Skills Centre in our Thornley campus. So this service was made available to all TAFE students, JSC clients, and also general members of the community. The initial promotion of TSET was through printed banners around campuses, postcards and flyers. Our marketing department also assisted with EDMs to students and social media coverage. The Student Support Disability team also shared the pilot information with our registered students and obviously the JSC with their clients as well. On an ongoing basis, the partners, so the TSEP consultant, TAFE and NDCO, have a 68 weekly catch-up meeting just to discuss what's been occurring, any improvements to service delivery, suggestions, and where to next.
Thank you, Kirsty. Sorry, I'll just jump in just to give Nicole a bit of a breather because Debbie was speaking quite quickly.
Yep. And then we'll move to the next slide. Thank you, Pam. So I would now like to introduce Andrew West from Maxima Employment at Gippsland, who will talk about his experience from a disability employment service point of view.
I believe the key ingredient to making a successful partnership are to ensure that all partners are aligned with the same visions and values. The aligned vision is the glue that holds the partnership together. Being able to improve employment outcomes for students with disability by helping them connect with local employers and supporting them throughout their employment journey is what has motivated Maxima to be part of this program. The current COVID situation has obviously been a major challenge as it has stopped us from being able to deliver this program on campus, but we've still managed to commence 5 students into the program. Hearing positive stories from other programs around the country indicate that once
Are you all right, Pam? That stopped.
Sorry.
I believe the key ingredient to making a successful partnership.
Anyway, yeah, we might move on.
We'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, sorry about that. There is a transcript of that audio too. It wasn't very good quality, so apologies for that.
So we'll just move on to the next slide, Pam. So a disability employment service commitment, what does that look like? So initially, a disability employment service might be based out of Jobs or Skills or a TAFE campus 1 day a week or as required. They would attend partnership meetings with the TAFE and the NDCO on a regular basis. They would engage with the students and actively promote TSEP students and teachers at events, to teachers and at events, and they promote the students with disability to potential employers. They would also attend TSEP disability community practice meetings that the NDCOs hold on every 6 to 8 weeks. Next slide, please, Pam. How TSEP has helped me. This is a photo of Liz and her experience with TSEP as a participant. After 15 years as a baker, Liz decided a career change would be in order. The late nights and early mornings took its toll after so many years, and I wanted something completely different. I am passionate about helping people. She enrolled in Cert 4 in mental health and has also completed a Cert 4 in community services and Cert 4 in youth work. I was talking to my student support advisor and mentioned that I would be looking for work now that my Cert 4 in youth work was completed, and she referred me to the TSEP program. Liz met with the TSEP consultant several times in the Murdoch campus and decided to register with BizLink to receive ongoing assistance outside of TAFE. I've been with mainstream employment providers before and didn't receive the one-on-one support that I need. Since registering with BizLink, I've been working with my consultant on employment options and sprucing up my resume. Things have moved quickly for Liz since. Her previous lecturer, Simon, sent through a job vacancy to Liz, which she sent on to BizLink. With her new resume, support from BizLink, Liz applied for a role and got a call for an interview 10 minutes later. I was nervous as I hadn't been to an interview for years. And when I got there, it was a panel of 3. But my interview prep paid off and I was successful in securing a job. Liz is starting her role as a community services officer with WorkPower in 2 weeks, supporting people with disability in recreational settings and providing in-home support. I've had such a good experience with TSEP program, and it's great to see TAFE provide this employment transition support. I'm especially thankful as being in my 40s, it can be difficult to make a career change, but I'm proof that this works.
So we've got about 20 seconds left.
Okay, so we'll just move to the next slide. This one is about Israel and his great story working in the TSEP partnership. And then I'll get you to move to the next slide, Pam.
Okay, so these are a current list, thank you Kirsty, a list of our partners. I won't run through them all, we were initially going to, but yeah, it is been run successfully across all of these different areas of Australia and TAFEs. A national NDCO TSEP team, so these are all the NDCOs that are currently working on TSEP, and you know, they meet monthly to discuss new partnerships and develop quality processes and resources for the program. So start the TSEP conversation, contact your local NDCO, and you can find us on the ADSET website, or you can contact myself or Kirsty and jump on the TSEP website as well. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you enjoyed this little presentation. I'd also like to thank just all our NDCOs who assisted putting this together. So if we have any time for questions, thank you, Caroline.
Unfortunately, we don't have time for questions. However, we are saving the chat box. So if you do have questions, please put them in the chat box, and we will make sure to get back to you. For me, it is very exciting to think that by putting supports and collaborative efforts towards planning employment outcomes early, you can actually achieve really great employment outcomes in line with people's aspirations and more quickly. So it's an excellent program, and please do make contact. Before we move on, I just want to remind you all that we have the chat box. Please make sure that you put any questions in there. We have captioning available, so you can either click on the closed caption on the ribbon, or you can click on the link that is in the chat box. And we also would like to thank our sponsors, which will also go in the chat box now, who have made this possible.